I think ridiculous that an actor, 15.5-stone actor, should really be attempting Mount Everest is quite ridiculous.
I mean, to get the whole thing set up has been you've had to be so single-minded about the whole thing. It's been to the exclusion of absolutely pretty well everything else.
You've heard of several kinds of cat, and my opinion now is that...
Now, Brian Blessed's actually intending a serious climb of Mount Everest. He's recreating the 1924 climb of George Mallory, who was last seen just 800 feet from the summit. There we are, one of the classics. That was Frenesy from Artie Shaw and his orchestra. And this evening's guest is actor Brian Blessed. Now, Mallory, Brian, is a hero figure of yours, I know. Is it a hero figure from long back?
Oh, since I was a child I saw him with the Rover, the Hotspur. There is his photograph with Irving. They're all my heroes. But Irving, I mean, Mallory fired us all. He was the one that did the reconnaissance. He did the 22, he did the 24. He was rather a bit like Ahab and the White Whale. He was obsessed, but he was called Sir Galahad. And when Sir Galahad finally put his hand on the chalice, he disappeared and Mallory, when he was last seen going through the mists, disappeared. It's rather marvellous, really. I'm obsessed like Mallory. I can't get rid of this obsession. If you told me we weren't going, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Captain Noel, he's kind of a hero of so many people. He fired the first bullet in the First World War. He was the first white man to get within 40 miles of Everest from India. He darkened his skin, darkened his hair, and he made this journey from 4 months' leave from the army.
But nobody could go there. It was forbidden to go. Nepal, on the other side, forbid anybody to come into their country. The Tibetans forbid anybody to come into their country. That's why I disguise myself as a Tibetan. I brown my skin with walnut dye and permanganate of potash. I dyed my face and my hands as I wore Tibetan dress.
For the moments of happiness, we had the experience.
The British have been trying since about the middle 1900s to try to get to Everest. It was called Everest because of Sir George Everest. His actual name is Chomolungma. It's also called from the Nepalese side Sagarmatha, and it has other names as well.
It's the meaning and approach to the meaning.
Our expedition was about being fearless, and we just want to. It's a kind of cry for freedom. That's why we're doing it. It's to help people to find their own Everest. I'm going to ride that horse. I'm going to say I love that person. I'm going to do my allotment. I'm going to do that before I die, because governments keep us so damn frustrated and they bottle us down. I suppose that's why I'm going.
Restores the experience in a different form. You, me,
Lord Hunt, you led the successful 1953 ascent of Hillary and Tenzing. How do you feel about Mallory?
Well, I think he's one of those people who almost belongs to a bygone age, in the sense that for him, mountaineering in those days was so much more than a sport or a skill. It was almost a religion. For him, it was a spiritual experience. And I don't say that there aren't people, I'm afraid I'm one of them, who finds a spiritual uplift in the mountains. But that was very much his approach in those days. And certainly that appealed to me as a romantic small boy.
I just wonder if I'm fit enough. I've been running hard since September. Do you think I'm all right? Do you think
I think you'll be fine. I have every faith you'll be perfectly all right. You'll go up and you'll come down, no trouble. I'm quite sure. I've no qualms at all. I know Ruth Mallory thought that about George as well, but I really don't have any worries at all that you won't come back perfectly safely. I think you probably will have problems when you come back. I'm sure you'll have problems and things that you'll have to get over. But it might do you the world of good. I think mostly between your ears is where you need sorting out.
I used to see the northeast ridge as a child. I used to talk to my father about it. Why do I keep seeing this mountain, Daddy? And the colours were always very grey, and I've dreamt about it for years and years since I was a teenager and then up to being in my 20s. And the colours have become more vibrant. It's very interesting recently dreaming about it, and suddenly I see it much clearer, a full colour. I just feel we're going for the right reasons. We're going with flowers, we're going with prayers, we're going with the right attitude. And I think the mountain will be kind to us. She'll be good to us in the end. So many climbers, Charles, they seem thin and tall or small.
Yes, well, that's
can heavy men do well? They take it easy?
Well, Don Willens was very heavy, wasn't he?
Yes.
Before he died.
Yes.
I'm 53. How do you feel about that? What can you advise me about my age?
Really, we'll get better information about that from Chris Bonington, who's done it.
I don't think it really makes much odds. If you think of it, actually, in that dreadful K2 disaster a few years ago, the two people who actually survived that were the two 50-year-olds, Kurt Dienberger and an Austrian. They were the two people who actually walked out of it. I think as you get older, in actual fact, you build up a kind of a long-term stamina. You might get tireder than other people do, but you keep going.
Everest is a very high mountain and is a very dangerous mountain. You are, I know, a mountaineer of I don't know how experienced. How much have you done?
Well, I've done a lot, John, but I'm not an inspired mountaineer. I'm a plodder, a slow plodder at best.
Just one step more.
My body is suited to other sports, really, wrestling, judo, something like that. I'm a heavy man. I'm 15.5 stone. I'm not fatter. It's got big bones, but I don't really suit the great mountains at all. I mean, mountaineers are usually quite thin, small, thin, tall. I'm a very heavy, bear-like man, really.
You've got a good girth, which I think is a good thing. You've got plenty of fat to live on as you actually do it.
I shall start at 15.5 stone. When I'm finished, I'll be an old man. My hair will have greyed. I'll be shrunken. I'll be about 9 stone. I'll be in a terrible state, and I won't have any voice. That's the kind of state I'll probably be in. I'll be right at the end of my tether.
There's no point in going on without you doing it, because the whole house is just, all it hears from you from morning till night is the same old story. And really, we can't listen to the story any longer. You've got to go and make your film and tell everybody else your story, because we can't listen to it anymore.
Why does one always want to sing when one's in the Tyrol? It's absolutely beautiful here in the Tyrol. I'm rather nonplussed. I'm usually kind of very expressive and a big mouth character, but for once I'm rather in awe of the personage I'm going to meet, Reinhold Messner, who is a legend in his own lifetime. It's absolutely impossible to evaluate this extraordinary man. When I think of Messner, I see landscapes and storms and mountains and arêtes and bergschans, and a man fighting against the elements. This extraordinary character. And Chris Bonington said that he is, in all probability, the greatest mountaineer who's ever lived.
Hello. Happy to see you.
Nice to see you. I'm Brian Blessed. It's nice.
I know. You're going to Everest, I hear.
I'm going to Everest, yes, that's right. And I'm going to seek your advice on the whole thing.
The breathing is a basic thing that it's important for going up. The lack of oxygen is the basic problem on Everest. If Everest would be like Mont Blanc or like the Matterhorn, it would be easy from thousands of people. But it's 29,000 feet high. And for this is getting a problem, especially on the last 3,000 feet. So for a long time, people were thinking they have to do the same breathing system like in the Alps, and it's wrong. And if you look at the Sherpas, how they do, the Tibetans, when they cross high passes, they do it in a way that they go very quickly for 10 steps, 20 steps. They do a rest, breathing very quickly, hyperventilating.
They breathe very quickly?
Very quickly, hyperventilating.
In what way? Show me now. Yes. Do it.
Very quickly, it's no problem. And afterwards you do a rest and you go again in a slower breathing. And when you are strong again, you start again for a small run, let's say also a run. And I am using exactly the system Tibetans and Sherpas are using, because I say to myself, they know how to handle it, because they do it since thousands of years. We came only 100 years ago, we Westerners, to do this, and we can only copy them, because they have more experience than we have.
What horrified me many years ago, Charles, was reading about the blood. At high altitude, apparently it thickens. What is that process?
Well, that's right. It does, because more red cells get made in response to the lack of oxygen. And so you get into the situation where your blood gets thicker and thicker, and it can sludge up and give you blood clots in various places. And what it means to you is that it's very, very important that you keep enough fluid intake, that you don't get dehydrated, which of course is very easy at altitude.
I think probably the most important thing is to keep eating and drinking, and perhaps drinking most of all. You need something like 9 or 10 pints a day, and that takes an awful lot of, firstly, of cooking it, of melting the snow, and then of drinking it. And at times you just don't feel like being bothered to cook, or you don't feel like being bothered to drink it. And I'd say, if you can keep eating and drinking, you're going to survive most things.
Now, I'm a great believer in honey.
Did you have much honey?
Yes,
on the
I took honey because I learned in the Alps when I used to climb with Patronized father that honey is an extraordinary quality. It's a remunerative, vigorous effect on you. It goes straight into your blood from honey. If you take sugar, you don't benefit for several hours till your digestion has assimilated and passes into your blood. But honey, the vitality of honey goes right into your blood right away.
You almost got to take one step at a time. You set yourself, I set myself targets. I set myself 10 paces, and I'm going to say, right, I'm going to take 10 paces without a rest. And you get to the 8th pace, and everything in you wants to stop.
The last step is depending from the first step. The first step is depending from the last step. It's a very good view. If you start for Everest, it's depending, if you like to reach the summit, you have to start right. And you have just to know, when you start for the first step, what is the last step. Otherwise, your beginning is wrong. So the last step is depending on the first step. And the first step is depending on the last step. It's a clear rule in mountaineering.
I've got bad feet. I've got lousy feet and strong bones, and the bones seem to press through the skin and blister them. I've been trying since September to harden my feet. They seem hard now. I've got to keep an eye on my feet. I take cold well, and though I'm an outgoing person, in actual fact I'm very quiet. Yes, I know. There is something very selfish about doing something like this. It's all right having highfalutin ideas. Mallory very grandly said, you know, that the biggest danger in life is not taking the adventure. And it's easy to let that go trickling off the tongue, you know. It sounds all very good. But in actual fact, I don't know where I'm going, but there's something very selfish about it. And there's no doubt about it. Bonington, Chris Bonington feels very strongly that Mallory, you know, is very selfish in what he did, going up there for the 3rd time. He said, you've got to be selfish, otherwise you won't get up there. You've got to be single-minded. He said, you don't understand. He was rather furious with me once. He said, you're being so noble and lovely. If you're going to get up there, you've got to be ambitious. You've got to be selfish. And I'm ambitious. I have a fear of hallucinating and not being in control of myself. Is that a problem?
No, I think it's a great help. Hallucinating is a great help, and especially if you are alone, in a difficult situation, alone for a long time, and putting out all your energy you have, really, because you need it. On Everest summit, I was so finished that I could only sit down and I forgot everything. I forgot either that I was there. And especially on the way up, I left my rucksack in the last tent. And before I left my last bivouac, I had the rucksack as a partner. And afterwards, I didn't have any more my rucksack to speak to somebody. And I became schizophrenic, I could say. But this being 2 persons in one, it was a help for me because I could speak to myself. I could discuss problems. I could tell to myself that I'm tired. And so I could understand it easier.
And could you actually see another human being, or could you see yourself?
Not on Everest solo ascent. On Everest solo ascent, I had a lot of discussions about Mallory and Irving, telling really they were up there, it's possible, and I had quite a feeling they could still be up there.
Did you feel you were conversing with Mallory?
Yes.
I brought a Lama back to England for a year with some other Lamas, and I got to know him very well. And we spent hours and hours and hours together in silence, trying to contact Mallory and Irving through the spirit world. And we did. We produced an apparition showing the two men what happened to them. We saw Mallory fall into a crevasse. We saw Irving trying to look down into the crevasse, and then it vanished.
You fantasize of getting to the top of Everest?
Yes, I do. And it's taken over, and it's starting to kind of rule my life.
Do you think you can?
Yes. I do. I keep listening to what Messner said about the first step and the last step, you know, being joined together. And that's rather taken over my psyche. Is this normal?
You cannot do it with your brain. You can only learn it through your instincts. We are not going up to die there. We go up to survive, to go on the limit between death and life. You and the summit are one thing. You will reach it like a bullet aiming to a target. The target and the bullet and yourself, they are becoming one, and so they will meet in one moment in the right place and in the right spot.
You must understand, Mother, that I'm not going to take any risks at all.
It would have been all my life quite pointless to want to get up things, get up mountains, if there wasn't an element of danger that I might fall off the thing.
I'm not going to be foolish. If I find it too tough in the end, I'll turn back. Shall I go? You don't care. Why is that, eh? And I'll remember you all at home, and that'll remind me if I think of you. But I'm not going to be foolish.
Well, don't you bite me.
I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to have a go, do my very best, but then have the good sense to turn back if the weather and the mountain proves too much. So you're not to worry. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
I've got to get this film right. I'd like to get it right for them, and for all explorers, and for all people everywhere who want to do something. I want to get it right. I want to get something right. I have never got anything right in my life. Does that sound stupid?
Left. Okay.
Well, this is my first view of the Himalayas. Everest is out there somewhere. But where? Darjeeling, March 23rd, 1924. Dearest Ruth, I think of you often, with ever so much love, and wish for your company. Would there were some way of bringing you nearer? I think the nearness depends very much on the state of one's imagination. I know you must have been feeling lonely some evenings. I want to take you in my arms and kiss you. Here it's a great holiday time, and you not with me. But we'll have a wonderful holiday when I get back, won't we? My love to the children. Ever your loving George.
But there's a lot of twaddle talked about in Mallory. I feel total twaddle. And since I've been here, I've been intensely kind of in a strange state and feeling things from all my studies of him. And I'm no expert, if other people know much more about him than I do. And I've met the man, never met him. But for instance, you asked me when we were back in England what Mallory felt about Everest and himself and so forth. Well, now, with my experience since I've been here, I think what I said was twaddle.
This is very strange being here. The Planters Club. This is where they stayed, the 1924 expedition, and the 22, and the reconnaissance. They all stayed here. Gosh, it's all run down. Mallory, Irving, Somerville, Beetham, General Bruce, they all stayed here. It's funny. The planters have all gone now. It's rather like a ghost club. All gone. In fact, they're all dead. Captain Noel was the last to die a few months ago. A very strange feeling. It's very beautiful.
gorgeous atmosphere of decay. It's wonderful to be here. Darjeeling looks wonderful. Exactly as I pictured it. Wonderful. I love the green and yellow on the walls. And the feeling of decay. It's the last outpost of the Raj. The very last outpost before they stepped off the map.
Go away. There's a long, long trail winding into the land of my dreams, where the nightingales are singing and a white moon beams. There's a long, long night awaiting until my dreams all come true, till the day that I'll be going down that long, long trail with you. Highness, it's a great privilege to be here. And I must look so ridiculous to you.
Are you really? I'm going to how to say, climb?
Yes, I am. I'm going to climb in this, and these boots, and this. And a little hat, and a scarf, and a few jerseys. You see, well, I'm quite crazy, just like the English were crazy. But it is...
Then you find I think some difficulties. The modern clothes, these are much better.
Yes, the modern clothes, you can go to the moon on the modern clothes.
But of course, also your will.
Yes,
I admire your will. Very good.
I notice that with holy men throughout history, you tend to be in the mountains, you tend to go high. Does this help in your prayer and meditation? To be high to a certain altitude, does it help to be in the mountains to help your meditation and prayer?
Yes, certain practice, it is very useful, very helpful. Before you gain the spiritual experience, you may find more difficult to breathe because of the lack of oxygen. So then you have to, you have to consider a more balanced way. Either the oxygen more important or spiritual experience more important. Then you have to judge.
So, Your Holiness, I think a middle-aged man here, dressed in the 1920s clothes, very much needs a lot of blessing. And it'd be a great privilege, and I'd be very grateful if you would bless me, Your Holiness.
Usually, you see, according to Tibetan custom, tradition, the scarf, this sometimes symbolize as a symbolize blessing. So I would like to give you this as a form of my prayer, as a blessing. So then all your wish will be materialized. So no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In tropical climes there are certain times of day when all the citizens retire to take their clothes off and perspire. It's one of those rules the greatest fools obey, because the sun is far too sultry and one must avoid its ultraviolet ray. The natives grieve when the white men leave their huts, because they're obviously, definitely nuts. Mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. The Japanese don't care to, the Chinese wouldn't dare to. Hindus and Argentines sleep firmly from 12 to 1, but Englishmen deter, sir, yes, sir. At 12 noon, the natives swoon and no further work is done, but mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun.
What is this?
Oh, what is Azara?
Azara? Ah. And this?
This is juice.
Juice?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's very good.
This is Emma.
Erma?
Emma. Kasashi.
What do you... what is that?
This is what is Espli Lagaga.
What?
Oh, Espli Lagaga. Espli Lagaga.
What is that? What is that?
This is Saladol.
Saladol?
Yeah.
Salad.
Saladol.
Salad oil.
Oh, Saladol.
Salad.
Yeah.
Saladol. Thank you very much. Tell me, do you believe in the Yeti? This is Yeti country. No. You don't believe in the Yeti? What about the Yak Yeti, the one that has his hair on his head? Do you believe in that?
No, I don't believe in the Yak Yeti. I've never heard it and I've never seen it.
You've never seen a Yeti?
around here? Are there any Yetis around here?
I don't.
You don't think so?
No.
Any Yetis around here, PK? No. Look, but you have seen a Yeti.
Yes.
What was it like?
It's like man.
How big? How tall?
I think bigger than you.
Bigger than me? Very big.
But face looks like you.
Face looks like me.
Dearest love, the great change was coming up to the plains after walking in a small mountain valley to debouch into a great grey arid basin among rolling hills where everything was unfriendly and far. But in the evening light, this country can be beautiful. The harshness becomes subdued. Shadows soften the hillsides. There is a blending of lines and folds until the last light, so that one comes to bless the absolute barrenness, feeling that here is a beauty of form, a kind of ultimate harmony.
I can't believe I'm here. You know, Shirkadazong, eh? White glass. The white glass rocky fort. I dreamt about this since I was 10. I used to read about it in books. And just think, I mean, he was here, the Lama. The Lama was here 70 years ago, and Maori, Noel, Somerville, they all came up here. They all came up here, and he was dressed in silk. He entertained them here with a 12-course meal and sweetmeats. And down there with his own pen, he organised dances and games. And this is where it took place. I never thought I'd ever be here. I never thought I'd ever be here. And this is a fairy story. This is fable Shikazong. This is the most incredible place in Tibet. And it's as high as Mont Blanc. can see the North Face, I can see the Hornbein Colwar, I can see the final pyramid, I can see the top. I think, yeah, I think that's where, just where Mallory is. I can't believe I'm here. I mean, it's just a dream come true. It's just so beautiful. Monastery. This is the highest monastery in the world, a gateway to Everest. 70 years ago, there were over 200 monks here. The head lama was a reincarnation of the god Chongrisay, and he gave Mallory his blessing before he went onto the mountain. Dear Lama, on behalf of the expedition, in appreciation for what you, for your blessing and for your ceremony, we would like you to have this for you. It is for you, and all your monks and your nuns. It is for you. She looks very different here from the last position. It's very intimidating. And it looks dreadful from any side. I mean, all this, as Mallory said, any idea of an easy snow slope is rubbish. People saying it's, there are easy routes up Everest. I mean, it looks absolutely terrifying. Captain Noel said to me when I arrived here, he said, you'll be intimidated, blessed, when you see it. It's so big, it fills the screen. It filled the whole of my camera, but don't be intimidated. Take it step by step. And he said, need lots of honey.
Особенно не существует, раз разорвана палатка-то. Шестой лагерь, хоть и чуть-чуть заброшен, но все равно нет.
The guy that's sick either stays there resting, or if he's good enough, maybe wants to start down, or we'll see how that goes. This rope team of 3 goes to the summit, and we've fulfilled the function of the climb with 3 standing on the summit together. We think it's going to be very interesting, because we know the Chinese are going to want it, but we're going to tell them they put route into 5, and it's Americans and Soviet term. Put the Chinese in the middle. Switch leads. I don't know what else to do.
I can't believe there are all these tents. Who are all these people? Chinese, American, Russian, Kiwi, Peter Habeler? Where do I fit in? Tashi Delhi.
end of the valley and above the glacier, Everest rises not so much as a peak, as a prodigious mountain mass. There is no complication for the eye. The highest mountain in the world is lord of all, unchallenged and isolated in her supremacy. Base camp, May 1st. Dearest one, I must tell you how wonderfully fit I've been these last days. Much better than in 21 or 22. I feel full of energy and strength. I sleep long and well, and my digestion is good. Dearest, you must know that the spur to do my best is you and you again. I shall think of you often at the higher camps, and the thought of you will be present in the most important decisions. We shall need good fortune. And the greatest good fortune is some constant kindness in Mount Everest herself. For we must remember that the highest of mountains has a severity so awful and fatal that the wisest of men do well to think and tremble, even on the threshold of their high endeavor. Peter Habeler, it's a great privilege to meet you. I've always wanted to meet you for years. After you did that first ascent without oxygen on Everest with Messner, I hear that you're on the West Ridge. What advice can you give me about Everest?
I couldn't give you any advice because, I mean, you're Mallory, you know. Mallory is going up there. It's not you. You Mallory is. So what the hell could I give you advice? Jesus.
Don't do it.
Just slowly, yeah. Slowly, you know.
Slowly.
And I could give the advice I would give to myself, okay?
Yeah.
I'm listening to my body. I'm listening to my breathing, to the sound of my breathing, somehow to my brain. And if I hear, and that was also 78, if I hear some funny noises inside, then I go down.
You know, I'm going up there and I think, well, this is madness. I mean, what is reality? What is real? I just received the news the other day. It came into that camp over yonder that my first daughter, Kathy's been injured thousands of miles away in Omar. She's had a car accident. She's got internal injuries. And I'm here. I can't do it. I'm impotent. What the hell am I doing here? I'm scared of the mountain. I'm unqualified to go up there. I'm following a dream. I'm selfish. I've abandoned everybody. The daughter now needs me. What the hell am I? What the bloody hell am I doing here?
You're evil. You're evil.
Continue.
Нет голоса. It's the altitude that affects your throat.
You're the wild man from Armenia, soloing the West Ridge. What do you make of all these?
The mountains now getting all with these flags. I mean, I don't understand the nationality, what has to do with mountain climbing. I don't understand. For example, Mallory, I love him. I don't know really. I think it is England. I don't know really. Yeah? For me, it's Mallory, the man who climbed this Everest, tried at least. Maybe also he climbed, coming back time, died. I don't know.
Basically what it belongs to is 2 spots are ours. We'll give up 1 spot to one or the other of the 2 teams, and they'll have to choose between them who that is.
Well, that's the question, is who's going to be left?
I think Katya should stand down. She hasn't even made it to 5 yet.
I don't like these big expeditions at all because they remember me and the army. One is leader, second leader, third leader, manager, camp manager. I saw Tibetan here. I mean Chinese, they are Chinese. Okay, they say, I'm going to camp 3. I think this man is not man for camp 3. And 2 yak going with him. I think, excuse me,
Yak also going Camp 3. Camp 3, I had my Camp 1 on the North Col 1987. Camp 1, North Col. Camp 3 must be under the top or so.
So the three great nations have got together in peace. This is a good thing, to climb a great mountain. This is what you're saying. And if this can be achieved on Everest, it can be achieved anywhere in the world. People are people. Huh? Is that what you're saying, Slavich?
No problem.
No problem.
We don't talk about peace.
Oh,
yeah?
boy.
If they, you know, it is to shame really. One side the invasion in other countries, Chinese in Tibet, Russian in Afghanistan, America in Panama, and they make peace, you know. They cheat us, they cheat the human being, you know. That is that the Mallory didn't do it. Mallory was just for climbing.
At least nine summit attempts with oxygen.
Hey, Jim, can you hear me okay?
Hello, Mr. President. I sure can.
Well, listen, I think back to our meeting in January, and here you are back at extraordinary heights. But listen, I wanted to simply send greetings on Earth Day to you and, frankly, to all the climbers with you from the United States, China, and the Soviet Union. And, you know, reaching the top of Mount Everest in the name of peace and understanding reminds all of us on this...
You were looking in that scene at one particular phony, and that was me. They were so elated, the Americans, and talking to President Bush. I mean, I'm not going to be bad-mannered. I'm going to say congratulations and us shaking hands, but of course it was meaningless to me. I thought the whole thing was phony. It almost soured the mountain for me. I wanted to kind of thump them all and shake them all, and shake their leaders, shake every damn one of them, you know. For God's sake, be bigger than that. Stop being negative. Stop being bitchy about the Chinese. The Russians bitching, the Chinese, the Americans bitching, the Russians and this, that, and the other. The Chinese are hiding pittance and equipment on the mountain, so the Russians can't use them. Idiotic, childish, immature sods, all of them. Just look at that. This is the central Rumbuk Glacier. Look at it. Mallory said it was like the charge of the Light Brigade, and he worked his way along that. They went right round there, and he couldn't find a way to the base of Everest. And they came back here, and then people have often criticized that he missed the East Rumbuk Glacier. That down there, that trickle, that minute little bit of snow, that's the fabled East Rumbuk Glacier. That's amazing. Of course he missed it. You'd miss it, I'd miss it. And he came down here. It was a blizzard, it was snow. He'd been up there for weeks. And then he came down here and he went right round there. And he went down there for 100 miles, 150 miles. And he went all the way around the Carter Valley, right round there to the Lac Pilar. And that's where I'm heading. I'm going to go up the East Rumbuk. And we'll see more of the scenery over there. But my God, what courage. Hey.
here. Here, at the head of the East Rombrook Glacier. But Mallory, in 1922, made one desperate attempt to get up the North Col. There it is, that dreaded North Col. His third attempt to get to the top of the mountain. And they're hit. They're hit. It's a terrible place. They're hit by an avalanche. And then they realized at least 10 were buried. And they raced to the bottom. There was a terrible crevasse. Some had gone over. And Mallory was desperate. He got his ice axe. And this frightening. 2 hours. Like 2 hours. Look, 3 blows. I'm strong 3 blows, and I'm finished. And he cried his eyes out. He pulled and he pulled for 2 hours. And some of those, George, stop it. They're dead. And Mallory was in despair. He wrote to London. He wrote to everybody. The young husband, he said, I'm responsible. I killed them. They didn't shirk it. He's a great man. He didn't pass the buck like people do today. He said, I killed them. I was responsible. He said, not out of recklessness, but he said, out of ignorance. We didn't understand the conditions. It was new to us. The Himalayas were new to us, and he resolved that in 1924, when he came back, that not a climber or a Sherpa would die. He felt that responsibility, and the scars weighed on him, and therefore he was determined somehow to climb that mountain to make up for the misdeeds of costing the life of 7 Sherpas.
Camp 3. Dear girl, the conditions are much worse than in 22. The temperature's low and the wind more violent. My personal trouble has been a cough. It has been the devil. With bursts of coughing fit to tear one's guts out. Besides which, of course, it has a very bad effect on one's going on the mountain. Still, the conquest of the mountain is the great thing, and the whole plan is mine. And my part will be a sufficiently interesting one, and will give me, perhaps, the best chance of all of getting to the top.
It's almost unthinkable that with this plan I shan't get to the top. I can't see myself coming down defeated.
Yo!
Whoa.
Here we go.
Oh.
Okay.
Congratulations, Jim.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, Big Jim, it's absolutely been a dream come true.
Well, we did it. We did it.
Oh, but this fabulous weather. Isn't it wonderful? How many have you got on the top?
After all of the wind and storm, now we've got these 3 days of clear weather.
It's wonderful.
So we put 6 on the summit the first day, and now we've got 3 more on the summit, and we've got in the high camp another 6 waiting. So we could have a lot of summits.
It has an allure, that mountain. It has that second step, and the final pyramid is so glamorous. And there's a climber up there. He must have been just like Mallory when Odell saw Mallory and Irving and going through the mists. There's a climber there without oxygen, and he's bending over. He must be kind of vomiting and sick and excited at the same time, and wondering if he's going to get up there. He's probably got another 30 minutes before he gets to the summit, and he's without oxygen. I saw you on the pyramid. I saw you flying. Congratulations. Congratulations. What are you doing here? We saw you. We saw you on the summit.
When Odessa through. Congratulations. You knucklehead. Okay, Slava. Deep breath. Хорошо. Deep breath. Good. Good. Okay, now hard. Strong. Good. Хорошо. you have headache or whatever, here, take your finger back and forth. Your nose, and then finger down.
Okay, Brian.
Touch.
This foot is really late.
Here, nose.
And you have to get up the call. We have 1,000 feet to go. Say goodbye to your friend who just made the top. Good job.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck. It is a severe mountain, cold and treacherous. Quite frankly, the game is not good enough. The risks of getting caught up high are too great. The margin of strength for men at these altitudes is too small. There it is, a prodigious white fang, an excrescence from the jawbone of the earth. The undiminished glory of Mount Everest. Perhaps it is folly to go up again. But how can I keep out of the hunt? Far away. It's the biggest effort I've ever had to make. I was just saying to Jeff, I realize I'm not a young man anymore. I'm not young. I wish the old boy was alive. I wish Captain Noel was alive. This is for him, this. I'm climbing this for him. It's the hardest thing I've done in my life. It's hateful. It's hateful. My guts. I get up. Captain Noel would never forgive me. Captain Noel! That's what it's for! You're a great old man! Privates. It's a bit tight at my privates.
You're almost up.
There's no air here, is there? There's no air.
That's it. Ah. Ah. That's it. Ah. On the North Pole. I never thought I'd get here. Kathmandu and all the bureaucrats and soldiers and frontiers. Halfway down, I thought I was finished. Captain Noel! I've got up! I'm here! I never thought I'd get up here. Oh, God! It's wonderful. It's wonderful. How far has it gone now? Gaura, 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 uru, nanama fikita tikitare, hahupane, hahupane, fikitira! Did you hear it?
This was a crucial time in the expedition. There were to have been 4 assault parties, but the weather was so awful there could only be 2 before the monsoon hit. Norton and Somerville went first without oxygen and were beaten back at over 28,000 feet. Mallory decided to make one last attempt with the 23-year-old Andrew Irving using oxygen. Odell would provide backup. They set off for the final attempt on June the 2nd.
Dear girl, this has been a bad time altogether. I look back on tremendous efforts and exhaustion and dismal looking out of a tent door onto a world of snow and vanishing hopes. And yet there have been a good many things to set on the other side. The party has played up wonderfully. And the issue will shortly be decided. We have counted our wounded and know roughly how much to strike off the strength of our little army as we plan the next act of battle.
Telegram announcing our success will precede this letter, I suppose. I will hope that I am one of the conquerors.
myself to blame for this. It's my stomach. I've never had stomach ache like it. My eyes, my head's all right. I don't feel anything serious. My mouth is, my lips are stuck together. I try and clear them with my lips, and they all get stuck together. All get stuck together. It's absolute. It's hell. I never envisaged this. It's just hell. I hate the sight of that hill.
I had this dream about Mallory. Well, it was a horrible dream. It was a nightmare. You know. I mean, it just wasn't a dream. It was so vivid, you know. It was like a vision. About 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up in the tent, and it was kind of fuzzy at the sides, and then this magnetic picture of Mallory, and he was coming down the road towards me, and he was just steaming, running ahead, and saying, "I hate what you're doing, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it," and his eyes were so piercing. I was so shocked that he hated me so much, and he came towards me at speed. You know, he's renowned for his kind of grace in movement, but it was easy to sidestep him, and he went through this broken wooden fence, and then he stuck his hands straight through the fence, trying to grab me, and then I grabbed his wrist, and I said, "Stop it, stop it." And he said, "Well, I hate it, I hate what you're doing, I don't want publicity, I don't want this, I don't want filming." And I said, "Stop, you're a hypocrite." I said, "Young husband said that you always wanted a label, you always wanted to be well known, you wanted to be famous. And that's why we're telling your story, because nobody knows about your marvelous story." I said, "What I am doing is good, it's pure, it's true." And he went still, his eyes were horrible. I mean, they're still pierced, but then he lowered his head, and his hands went slack in my grip, and he seemed to reluctantly accept what I was saying. But I mean, it was a shock to me, considering my kind of love for the man in the subject matter. It left me feeling awful, and it just has haunted me. He was lousy. It was horrible.
Look, there's the shadows covering the first step. And there, look, it's coming through. Look, you can see it. It's coming. There's the second step. That's where they were last seen. There they are. That's where they went. That's where they went. Over that and up to the final pyramid. Look how close it is. I could touch it. It's snowing. It's so soft. Underneath, it's like tiles. It's like you just slip like on tiles. We're going to sail to the top this time. God willing, or stab to the top. With our teeth in the wind. Hey! 25,000 feet! They said we couldn't do it! The Chinese that stopped us every bit of the way. They want us off the mountain in 3 days. We're risking being put in prison coming up here to talk about this dream. God, I'm proud of you. You've dragged it up. I like this light pack, and you've carried it all up. You've been heroes, and you're in my heart forever. You're wonderful, you're great. You make all the puny bureaucracy look idiotic and impotent. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting this stupid, middle-aged fool up to 25,000 feet on this great, gorgeous, noble, majestic mountain. Thanks.
I can understand why Mallory and Murphy were driven on. There's just no air. I've got to stop. I'll never get back. I won't get home. I'm sorry, Captain Noel.
If you had been with them, if you'd been with Mallory and Irving, would you have wanted any better grave than the white snow of Everest?
I should be playing Little John, not Kevin Costner's dad.
I don't think I need anything on my skin.
No, you
What do
got
you
good colour, that's
Yeah. I hate powdering the face. It doesn't look organic.
it's
Can you give me a
good
line of the
natural.
eye just to bring out the kind of strength of the eyes and gets the women and makes me sexy?
I can understand him taking risks. I can understand Mallory's obsession, because I'm just as obsessed. When I was up there, I thought nothing on God's earth would ever draw me back again. When the cold and the horror of altitude and the pain of climbing at altitude, I was experiencing all that. But now that I've got back, I want to go back again. I can understand him going back 3 times. I'm fully capable of going back 3 times. I don't know an answer to it. I want to go back. And it really dominates my thinking. I find it very difficult to get back to acting.
The king shall hear of this!
Acting seems now slightly unreal.
God and Loxley!
What I've experienced there is so real. And acting comes a very poor second to it, really. At the end of the day, for me, it's make-believe. Whereas Everest was completely real. I've always felt unreal as a person. I'm now reasonably content and satisfied until I go again. But I have to go back. That is compulsive to go back. And though it is a quieter feeling now, I would say the obsession and the yearning to go back is deeper than before.